everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Tomcat Stitchery. I'm Whitney, and I'm back. Now, you guys will not have noticed that I've been away, but I have. But before we get started, I've been having some special requests for my business partner here. So, hi. I had a lot of people saying they'd miss seeing Gidget, and honestly, the past videos that you've seen, which I'll explain here in a second, were all pre-recorded, and I was doing a lot. Hello. Okay. Yes, you want to lay back down. Yes, say hi to everyone. Say hi to everyone. Okay. So the videos that you have been watching were all pre-recorded before my kids got out of school for the holiday break. So I have not been in front of the camera since before. They were out December 20th, and so I've not been in front of the camera since then until today. So all those videos, I did a whole bunch of filming the couple of weeks before that, were all pre-recorded. So I know I've said Happy New Year, but I want to say it again because now I'm actually coming to you in the new year. Okay, so new year. For today's video, I wanted to talk a couple of things. Number one, I did some organization, which I always do at the beginning of the year. I don't know if it's so much New Year, where I feel like I really just want to, clean things out and purge or whatever, or if it's just kind of that, I'm in the house more because it's winter and clutter is starting to bother me a little bit more, or what it is. But anyway, usually. And we're also, after the new year, we're in kind of that lull time. My husband also took off work. He was, December 23rd was his last day of work, and he just went back this Monday. So we had him for quite a few weeks, which was the longest. I think that's the longest chunk of vacation he's taken from work since my children were born, when he went on paternity leave, which is crazy, but we loved having him home. But we're in that kind of that lull, and so we did a lot of organization around the house, and so, of course, as you know, I had a large influx of fabric from my Mentor Joyce, and it was all in a pile on my floor. And it is now organized. And I want to show you, I did it Marie Kondo style-ish. I really didn't do that much looking to see if she had a way of folding table. I'm sure she does. Folding tablecloths, sheets, that kind of stuff, which would be similar to folding fabric. But I kind of used the way that she folds clothes and then made it work for fabric. But I have it all organized, and I'm going to show you guys that here in just a second. And also I'm going to show you how I folded all of the yardage. And not just me. I actually hired my children and two of their friends to help me fold because it was so overwhelming. So I will show you guys what that looks like all done. I've made a couple of changes to my cutting area that I kind of wanted to, not really, I just moved my cutting table a little bit, but I feel like it's going to be set up a little bit better for filming. I still have not gotten the part of the basement back that the soccer goal's in, and that's fine. I'll share it. But yeah, I wanted to show you that. And I also wanted to talk about Butterick, or Vogue McCall's Butterick. They had a huge pattern sale over the holiday season that included their out-of-print patterns, and I bought some, and I'm going to show you what I got and why, even though I did just talk about how I wasn't going to be purchasing, hardly any fabric or patterns, and actually I have purchased both since the beginning of the year, but I'll explain all of that at the end. Okay, so let's get started with organization. So I'm sure you guys are all familiar with Marie Kondo and her, the clutterless life method, that kind of thing. But my mother started, you all have met my mom, started folding her clothes that way, and just loves the way that, that works, and she's really, into that kind of thing. And I probably should do the same thing. I think it's just a big process at the beginning when you're folding all your clothes, and then once you're doing laundry and stuff, I don't know that it's that big of a deal to fold your clothes a little differently. But I loved the idea, number one, for compactability, making things compact. Number two, I wanted to be able to see my fabric stash. I want to be able to open the drawers and look and see what I've got and be able to quickly grab things. I also decided to reorganize my fabric. Now, last year I went and rolled all of my fabric, which this is kind of rolled, kind of, while I liked that, I totally got lazy at the end. And I just kind of needed to redo everything because I got so much fabric from Joyce that I still wanted, you know, all of my rayons together, all of my knits together, you know, all of my shirting weight cottons, you know, lighter weight cottons versus like bottom weight cottons. I still wanted all of that to be organized that way. So I really had to pull everything out anyway. So went through and folded things. Now they're not uniform because number one, fabric comes in different widths, and honestly, and I'll show you in a minute how I did the fold, but when I'm folding it in thirds, I'm just kind of eyeballing it. I was not measuring, so they do fit really well into my drawers, which was the goal. So there, you know, there you go. All right, so I'm going to break right now and go to a clip where I'm going to show you how I folded my fabric. Okay, so you can see I have a new setup. So I have rotated my table. It makes it kind of tight coming down off the stairs, but I've rotated my table, so I think having, like, filming like this and maybe being able to zoom in a little bit better is gonna be nice. But anyway, let me show you how I have folded all of that fabric. Now again, they're not all uniform because fabric has different widths. But I have this laid out completely open. I'm going to fold it selvage edge, which is in my hands, to selvage edge. And this piece happens to be wider than it is longer, but obviously most of the times it's longer than it is wider. But just, it fit in frame so I can show you all. All right, so we are going to fold it into thirds now. So we go, again, this is not precise. That is not the way I roll. So I fold it in a third, then fold it in a third. Then I take this rectangle and I fold it in half. I leave the bottom layer just a tad longer. It just helps tuck things in nicely. And then once that's been folded in half, I arbitrarily pick a size and then I'm just rolling it like so, to where it makes a little packet. Now mine don't stand up like Marie Kondo's do because, you know, I'm not tucking it in like she does because I just have a lot of yardage. But there we go. And there it's nice and folded and ready to go into the drawer, into its little envelope slot with the other. This is cotton, so it's gonna go with my shirting cottons. Okay, hope that made sense. Okay, so that was very easy. And of course I've showed you on a small piece of fabric just so you could get everything in the frame. Now a lot of fabric that I have is quite long. And while that is a little back-breaking, I still did all of, that was one reason why I hired the teenagers, number one, because my back was killing me when I was just on the floor trying to fold things this way, the long yardages. Because I literally have, well, you guys saw that Prince of Wales plaid that I showed you in my wool haul, and it, I mean, I didn't even measure it, but it was, I probably have 7 yards of that. Literally, I feel like I can make multiple suits out of that fabric. And so there were a few like that I'd gotten from Joyce that I don't know why she was buying fabric in such bulk, but I have a lot of it, and most of it's classic stuff, so I can make multiple things out of it, so that's exciting. Okay, so once I had everything folded, and then I divided things up by type, so like all of my linens together, all of my knits together, all of my, like I said, my lighter weight cottons versus my bottom weight cottons, divided all of that up, and then I, for the most part, put things away rainbow. So just, you know, all the reds and pinks into the yellows, oranges, yada, 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 so that I could easily pull and see what I've got. So now I'm going to show you a clip of my new fabric storage that I've got going on, and it's so much cleaner. If you watched my So Vlogmas video, you will have seen my room in a complete and total disaster. It's actually pretty picked up at the moment. I still have a few things that I need to do. I need to actually do like a real deep cleaning, you know, actually like some serious dusting and that kind of stuff. But yeah, my drawers look so good. So I'm gonna show you that right now. All right, so you guys have seen this before. These are my, sorry about my rack here hanging out. These are the container store units that I have, and I've got another one that's right over here. These are all filled with fabric now, except for the top 4 that are up there, and those are trims. I have a whole bunch of neckties, that are waiting to be turned into bias tape and that kind of thing. So, and then the top 2 are actually just different craft items. But look, guys, I even have an empty bin. So all of Joyce's fabric now lives in these. So I have things divided up. For instance, I will show you my lighter weight wool drawer. So I've got all of my fabrics by color. So these are the lightweights. I've got my crepes in here and my gabardines. Easily accessible. This pulls out further. I just don't want to pull it out all of the way. But I've got wools. Here's another section of wools. I have a ton of this. This is a little bit thicker weight. And then with these big these little sliders here, they judge the depth of the drawer. So this is a 3 slider depth drawer. So this is for the bigger stuff. I've actually set these on end, so they're not laying the way the other stuff is, but I can still see the colors and they still fit in here nicely. Isn't that pretty? So I've got all of these by color as well. So these are like my heavier coatings. And then down here I've got my Meltons, which are just huge. I mean, they're just very, very thick. And then let's see what else I've got. I have my silks. Look at all these silks. Isn't that beautiful? There's just so much up here. That's all been put away. That's in a 1 slider drawer. I am stuck on something. More silks here. Let's see, I've got some of my suitings. These are, so this was solid stuff over here. This is more of my plaid patterned suitings, which is mostly plaid. Here's another 3 drawers, so I've got things standing on end there. But anyway, I've got lining in that drawer. I have my linens there. I've got my heavier, like suiting weight silks here. I've got cotton shirtings. And then over here are all of my knit fabrics. And then down below I have like shirt weight or dress weight cottons, the lighter weight cottons. And down below are my rayons. Oh, and then down here along the whole bottom are my bottom weight cottons, my denims and that kind of stuff. And then I have some really poofy, the mohair, and then I have another, this knit, weird knit here that got the drawer all to themselves. So there we have it. Specialty stuff is in this drawer. There we have it. That is how I have organized my very large fabric stash. There's a lot of yardage here, guys. Okay. Okay, so there you have it. That took a lot of hours, even when I enlisted the help of the young people. It was so worth the money. I paid them each $10 and it was so worth it. The 2 friends that came over are organizational geeks like myself, and so they were actually having a really good time with the folding and sorting as well. And the four kids had a good time, you know, laughing and you know, oohing and aahing actually over everything that there was down there. So yeah, that is how I am storing all of my fabric now. And as you can tell, I've got some room for added fabric, of which I have purchased some fabric. So, sorry, my eye, I sat down and it just got really dry. I want to talk about a couple of things before I dig in and show you my pattern haul that I got over the holiday season. So, number 1, I got my colors done over the holiday. Actually, technically, this is chocolate brown that I'm wearing. It's a little darker than what my colors are that I'm supposed to be wearing, but I thrifted this. So, yeah, I threw it on today. But I'm going to talk all about that, the experience that I had and the results and yada, yada, yada. I've got new makeup, which I think was my big issue. It wasn't so much my hair color. Now my hair is dark, a little darker than my natural hair color. Not a lot, but it is a little darker than my natural hair color. But I was worried that the tone was too warm, and turns out it was not. It was my makeup. So I've got all new makeup. Anyway, I'm gonna talk all about that whole experience as soon as I get my fabric swatch wallet that has like all of my colors and stuff in it. And I'm excited to compare that to the last time I had my colors done. And I'll also explain why I went and had my colors done a second time, because technically you don't need to. Once is good. So anyway, I'm going to go into all of that as soon as I get my little wallet in the mail, and so be watching out for that video. But as part of that, I did have some surprises on colors that I should be wearing. And Blackbird Fabrics, it wasn't even a sale. She just had She just released an email, and it had a couple of fabrics. I think, did I buy 4? I bought 3 or 4 cuts of fabric, but because they're in one of my best neutrals, and also, well, 3 of them are, and then one of them is a color that I just kind of want to try out. So I'm doing a lot of experimenting with color this year. I'm not getting rid of things that aren't my colors just because I think that's a little wasteful, and there's ways that you can make things your colors by adding scarves and all that kind of stuff. But moving forward, I think I'm just going to be shopping for fabric. Not that I need to shop for fabric anytime soon, but moving forward, I'll probably just be, you know, sticking to my colors. And as things wear out, I'll just be replacing them with things that are my colors or whatever. But anyway, again, I'll talk more about that when I get that swatch. Okay, let's talk about patterns, and then I want to talk a little bit more about plans for the channel. I'm gonna give you a little teaser and that kind of thing. All right, so again, Vogue, McCall's, Butterick, Quixo, they were all having a site-wide sale on the internet, obviously on the internet, on their website. And they also had included the out-of-print patterns into that whole grouping as well. And there were actually a few Butterick patterns that I had put like in my cart, like on my wish list, that were released early fall or even maybe summer, some of these. Probably summer. This was probably like a late summer release. One maybe early fall for Butterick that I just kind of had my eye on, so I went ahead and bit the bullet on that. And then I bought some patterns that I was eyeing for potential for sew-alongs for you guys. So first things first, I bought 2 jeans patterns. I bought McCall's 5894, which is, and again, I'm also playing around with my body type a lot more this year. And one of the things that I kind of mentioned in one of the videos recently was that I was gonna play around with a little bit more lower rise style pants. Not low rise, I wanna preface that. Just not the real, I am sorry, my eye just got really, really dry just right when I sat down. Not super, super low rise, like not early 2000s, not Britney Spears low rise. I'm just talking like, you know, 1.5, 2 inches below my natural waist, so a little bit because I have a short torso, just to create a little bit of an elongating effect. So, you know, just not the higher rise that are kind of in style right now. So this one is that. It sits below your waist. So I'm interested in trying that out. It has a boot cut and a straight cut, and it's made for denim. So, or you could use stretch denim. So I think it's probably drafted for non-stretch denim, and then you would just want to take it in probably a little bit if you used a stretch denim. So it's not a skinny leg, it's a straight leg or a boot cut leg. But these type of patterns I can make sew-alongs for. Now, after I bought these, I'm like, I have no idea if any of these were out of print or not. I was looking at out of print patterns. I don't know if I ended up buying any or not, because I really wasn't paying attention once I got to a certain point, because I was just kind of looking at everything. But the other one I got is Butterick 5682, which has like all of the legs in the world in there. Let's see, we've got, what do we have? We have a trouser, which I guess is kind of like a little wider leg, a flared leg, a boot cut leg, a slim ankle length, and a straight leg. So, and this one's also made for just regular denim, but you can use stretch as well. So that's interesting to know. And while this says it fits at your waist, it does not look that way to me. It looks like a shorter rise than a natural waist, even on the models. I mean, not, again, not low rise, but definitely below the waist, like maybe by 1.5 inches or so. So anyway, I'm excited to try these out, and I've had so many requests for jean sew-alongs, and I just hate stepping on independent patterns' toes, because a lot of them have really good sew-alongs for their products out there. So yeah, this gives me a chance to do a jean sew-along, so that'll be coming this year. Okay, also, what else did I grab? I grabbed this pattern, McCall's 8006, mostly because I'd been looking, I want a trouser. I want a fly front trouser that I can make that's kind of a skinnier leg for some of the wools. And this, let's see, fabrics are wool blends, gabardine, cotton blends, and crepe. And I have so much crepe. So much crepe. So that would be fun to do some wool crepe in those. And I think, I don't know, I may figure out how to line those too. I still have not purchased that Liesel & Co. Yeah, Liesel & Co. She has a whole bunch of, it's the Oliver & S, Lisette, all that is in the same pattern company, but her Hollywood trousers, I am going to buy those and make those. But I was interested in this for some of the Sew the Look. So for the street style looks that I did in the video last week, I thought that these pants would be a good fit. And I didn't see these until later. I don't think I had this one in my video. Again, I filmed that a while ago. Go back and look. But I like this for some of the silhouettes that I was eyeing in the plaid pants. Okay, what next? I bought these 3 Butterick patterns. Let's see, I got Butterick 6674. It is a cup size one. Yes, this is a cup size one. It's a sundress. It's just a nice silhouette, and I bought it because of the cup sizes, really. I just love the cup size patterns, and there's a view on here. It's actually this girl, this C right here, that has like a ruffle along the neckline, which normally I don't do a lot of stuff on the neckline just because I'm busty, but it's a very sweet little ruffle, and I'm wondering if the scoop neck is enough that having that little ruffle would just be a neat little added detail. I don't know. I don't know if I'm brave enough to play around with that or not. Or I could just take it off, I guess, if I decided I didn't like it and finish it another way. But it just buttons down the front, all the way down, has big pockets. I just think this would be a great summer dress. And then likewise, let's see, Butterick 6676. Again, these are little older releases. This is also a cup size. Yes, this is also a cup-sized one. I just love this silhouette on me. And I'm interested in actually all of the views. I kind of like the straighter skirt though, view A, but I also like the flared skirt on C and B. And C has a wrap around and has a little tie, like the little self ties that kind of go from the side seams to the front, which I think is really cute. If it didn't add too much bulk. So anyway, got that one. I got this because it just looks like a really nice and easy shirt dress, 6702 Butterick, and it also has the cup sizes. Again, I'm a big sucker for the cup sizes. I'm not real big fan of handkerchief hems. That just, it's just not my thing. But I like this version and I like the shorter version. So I think that would be a nice base pattern to play around with. And again, with the Sewing Classic, through the Sew Classic Guide to Stylish, So Stylish Guide to Classic Sewing book that I'm kind of going to go through this year, I thought that these, actually, all these patterns would be good, like classic silhouettes, and they're fairly new releases, so they'd be easy for you guys to get when we get into that kind of thing. All right, I also got this Palmer Pletch. It's a McCall's 6750. Does this one have? This one does not have the cup sizes. It is this pattern. This one's been out for quite a while, but it's got a million darts there that would be very easy to do full bust adjustments. Yeah. And I'm interested in playing around with some button down. This has like a grown-on collar, so it's not as hard, to sew as like a collar and collar stand. Not that that's really hard, but it's just interesting. It looks interesting to me, and I like the idea. Some of the suggested fabrics are poplin, crepe de chine, seersucker, and charmeuse. And I think playing around and making this in a crepe de chine or charmeuse would be a lot of fun because technically, according to my body type, I should be wearing kind of flowier fabrics on top. And I think I would omit, there's waist darts here and like 2 waist darts in the front. I think I would omit maybe the waist darts in the front, keep them in the back, just to give it a little bit looser feel maybe. But yeah, it just looked like an interesting blouse pattern that I could maybe play around with. And then finally, this is McCall's M7931, and it is a bias cut skirt. Now, could I draft this? Probably so, but I don't want to. Christy Russell, who I talk about all the time here on this channel, she is the YouTube stylist, has a bias cut silk skirt, and it is it's like a jacquard, it has an animal print on it. It's kind of a mustardy goldenrod kind of yellow, but it has a animal print on it, jacquard, but you can only see it like in certain lights because it's jacquard, so it's tone on tone. Oh my God, it's so cool. And I could totally want to recreate something like that. with this pattern. So, and I may or may not have ordered some fabric. So, we'll see how that goes. Okay, so that's what I've got for you today. Sunday, because we are now done with our current sew along. Sunday, I had a request from Virginia, one of my lovely viewers out there, if I could do a video talking about the different odds and ends needed for tailoring. So pressing, accoutrement, and that kind of thing, any of the different notions and stuff that I find useful in tailoring. And I thought that would make a nice little in-between video for the Sew Along Sunday, because I also want that to be tutorials and that kind of thing. So I'm gonna have a video on that, talking about my favorite tailoring notions. And then I think moving forward, we're going to start delving into the So Stylish Guide to Classic Sewing book a little bit, and I'm gonna start off with a pencil skirt. That is the first thing, skirts are the first thing in the book, and I have the brocade that I really wanna make a pencil skirt out of. So I'm gonna be doing a sew along, and we're gonna talk a lot more about fit in this one, and about you know, different techniques that we can use to make garments last longer, yada yada yada. So I will be underlining the pencil skirt, because the pencil skirt's pretty easy. I actually haven't picked what pattern I'm gonna do yet. There is a pencil skirt pattern that comes in that book. I might just use that one. But I also like the idea of showing you guys how to use a facing instead of a waistband, and using a Petersham facing. I find those to be very comfortable. So that's kind of sew along wise what I have planned for right now. And then we've got other fun stuff coming up as well. I am going to be doing, this is a little teaser, but coming up next week or the week after, I'm going to have a big kind of announcement. I'm going to be doing a challenge with Carla from Stay Stitching, and it's all about, we're going to all sew modules, a module together. And so we've got, we're still ironing out some dates and prizes and that kind of thing for it. So I don't want to say too much right now, but that's kind of what we've got. And it's going to be a nice long challenge to give everyone plenty of time to make 6 items of their own module. So that's kind of what we got to look forward to through the winter, kind of with the idea that this would all wrap up about springtime. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss any of the fun stuff that we have coming up. So there'll be a lot more talks about modules, which if you're not familiar, it is an idea from Christy Russell, the YouTube stylist, and I'll leave a link down to her channel down below. But it's the idea that you pick 6 garments, 3 tops, 2 bottoms, and a topper, which is like a cardigan, jacket, blazer, something along those lines. And they can be mixed and matched to form 12 outfits, but when you pick modules that interchange color-wise, you can, I mean, it just grows exponentially the outfits that you can have. So it's a really cohesive way to sew and to build your closet. So that is kind of the idea, and I have a whole bunch of videos on modules. There's actually a whole playlist on my channel for modules under the playlist tab on the channel. Okay, that's all I've got for today. I also have some really fun reviews coming up. I have my sewing retreat this month, and so I think I'm going to sew through some of the Sew the Looks that I did, the Winter Sew the Looks, get some of those garments made up that will also be kind of sliding into that whole big module stuff that we're going to be doing here for the spring. All right, that's all I have for today. I will see you guys on Sunday. We'll talk about tailoring tools, and then I'll see you guys again next week. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.